might as well give her a chance with her response. It can't be that bad, can it? It can't be that condescending and jerk-like, can it? Can it? Okay, good. Let's get into it.
Hello. I will begin by saying that this will be an acknowledgement video, but not an apology video.
This is not an apology because
Damn. Yo, yo, this is the funniest shit, bro. I can't, bro. Holy fuck. Yo, these motherfuckers. Yeah, I swear to God. Clara, yeah, your ass is swept. We're going to be seeing your ass later. I swear. And then even on that factor, like, am I going to be surprised by this shit? It's just like, yo, what do I say all the time with patterns of behavior? You have to acknowledge that you made a mistake and did something wrong to grow and change. Clara Dao, this ain't no apology. I'm not apologizing because I didn't do anything wrong. Umechi, I just want to acknowledge to everyone that this will not be an apology. So then why the fuck are you here? Why the fuck are you in front of my face? Like, you're responding and shit. Aren't you supposed to be apologizing for the fucking backlash and criticism? Why are you here? Bruh. Ah, man. Pathetic. Pathetic. My. It's been a while since I talked about the girly pop. You saw title and thumbnail. We're talking about Umechi. Now, for those who don't know who Umechi are, I'll give you the base rundown. You already know, Umechi is one of the TikTok girly pop, or the TikTok influencer girly pops. She was posting Lolita aesthetic content on her TikTok. But that's on a base level of what you would generally know her for. What I know her for, we'll go down the list. Yeah, I know how we get. 1, being a liar. 2, being a hypocrite. 3, being a supporter of spaces like ED Twitter. 4, within her Lolita aesthetics, some of the Jones and some of the filters she's posting could result in, promoting unrealistic beauty standards. 4, the audience she cultivates. 5, one of her favorite animes is called Yosuga no Sora. If you don't know what that is, it's a twincest anime. Not good, huh? I ain't gonna lie, we're gonna keep going down the list. The type of, audience she cultivates. 5, going off that, I might have already said that already, but coming off of that, and also the last point, the last thing I know her for, and the main thing, being a fucking lollibaiter. Yeah, shit is heinous. Real bad. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, so obviously, I'm going all within that, I know her for these horrendous, terrible things. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all had seen back on the Jones or whatever, when we first started posting on the page, covering Umechi, that was one of the things that, I ain't gonna lie, did a bit of motion for Trilly. Shout out, watch. You know what I'm saying? We love the audience, as always. But yeah, we had covered her with all that stuff, you know what I'm saying, during that time I was coming out with videos and John. And I guess we're back talking about her again, as I said earlier, huh? Because one of the lover babes, you already know, Miss Coco's Crazy. You're gonna show her love when we get into the vid. Dropped a video about her. So, of course, I'll be here to talk about it. Y'all know how Trilly gets. We do love a yap sesh, I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, I ain't gonna waste no more time because Trilly has been yapping everything in this intro, huh? Crazy works. But yep, Trilly talks everything. Trilly yaps everything. Let's get right into it. Like I said in the intro, baby. Shout out to Lover Babes. Miss Coco's Crazy. We must share the love. We got the cosplay TikToker, 150,000 creeps love. Umechi. Of course, if you guys want to watch the OG vid, down in the description, first link, show the love as always. And we need to hop right into this boy, because it's gonna be a sesh, alright. I can already tell.
I learned all the crazy controversy that people exposed her for. And I really mean it's a lot.
I am never going to delete any of my videos. And the extreme magnification
She wiped her Facebook, I'm pretty sure.
of horrible lies.
But what I do have a problem with is when you literally start to gatekeep a culture that's not even your own from other people.
She's trying to present herself as this educated person.
Proud Umechi hater from day one. Please.
Of herself. Instead, well,
Cosplay is something very, very popular on TikTok. Some videos where people cosplay gain millions and millions of views. There's one genre that a lot of people hate and some really, really like, and that is where you edit yourself into looking like some kind of porcelain doll. And one creator has gained an entire platform from just doing this.
I wonder who that is.
Making herself look like some sort of porcelain doll. And she has hundreds of hate comments. Well, let's be real, thousands of hate comments, hundreds of hate videos, and overall one of the worst responses to controversies of all time.
Stamped in, cause boy, goddamn, I was just about to talk about that. When we had watched her response, the reason I had hated her response so much is because she did not focus on the main factors of the things like, you know, the fucking lolly baiting, like her wearing the goddamn, schoolgirl's uniform. If y'all ever seen like animes and shit, you'll see a lot of schoolgirls, like the younger jits in anime, wear like the uniform, whatever, and making vids like that when she was 19 plus years old. Like, what are we doing this jump for? She wasn't really focusing on that jump. She was more or less focusing on like, Hydes were saying she was like, East Asian fishing and like the whole Lolita aesthetic thing. I'm like, let's be honest here, Umi. I ain't gonna hold you. As much as people do care about a lot of aspects of that within your drama, we know what the main shit is. I'm going to need you to elaborate more on that.
The malignant, intentionally made up lies being largely spread about me in order to vilify my personhood as a whole.
She is one of the only people I've ever seen have a comment under one of her TikToks telling her to you-know-what with thousands of likes. That's just something you simply don't see on the daily. And months have gone by and she still has one of the most hated responses of all time to this entire situation. So I felt like digging into it and seeing why people overall hate her so much. She's received thousands of you-know-what threats, and overall that is just not appropriate. We should not be sending threats to her. That's just weird.
Yeah, I always say this. It's literally, I be stamping this in every video now, like literally. But yeah, obviously we shouldn't be putting no crazy hate and shit, especially for Umechi, because yeah, she definitely had a lot of mental health issues. She had gone to the rehab, John. She had to go to what was it? Was it therapy? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like therapy. Or no, she had to go to like the mental hospital and all that type of jazz. But yeah, like obviously people shouldn't be telling her to KYS and shit and all this junk. But yo, I'll be damned if we can't criticize her ass, cause I know I already have and still will. What the fuck?
Weird. But we're gonna be getting into the situation she's been in for the past few months.
But I'm feeling it now, and I have been.
I'm gonna give a quick trigger warning for mentions of not appropriate things with younger people. And this video is probably a lot more darker and disturbing than usual videos that I create.
No, it will
so just
be getting
fair
there.
Trigger warning for all that. It's not really the most lighthearted video of all time.
Until I learned all the crazy controversy that people exposed her for.
So overall, please don't send hate to her, obviously. She's already gotten quite a few threats. It's a serious situation. I'm not defending her in any way. In fact, there's a lot of stuff she's done that I just cannot believe someone would do.
Yeah, you just fucking cannot defend a lot of this shit. Again, you cannot defend lolly baiting. You cannot fucking defend, again, she doing a lot of baiting, so the audience she's cultivating. You niggas, I will be handing this shit to you. Yeah. All that shit, like, you just generally have to condemn that.
So with that, let's get into the video. Remember, just don't send anything mean to her. Please be respectful in the comments, and with that, let's get into it. Speaking of someone doing something pretty bad or a lot of bad things, you have a chance to do something very, very good. Some of you know about Mustafa, the injured Palestinian I've been helping on my channel. That clip I just showed you was his house. His house is completely torn down and he has nothing left. And it's much harder for him to rebuild all of this due to the constant and he has to protect his 2 daughters and provide food for them. So your donation can change an entire life. Or if you can't donate, remember to spread the word on your social media or to your friends or family. Link is in description. I beg you to consider this. Remember that you can do a lot of good for one person with just a $5 donation or spreading the word. With that, let's get back into it. So Umechi is part of a community that makes these type of weird edited videos. And I don't mean weird as in bad weird. I'm just saying as in like unique, different. It's very...
I'm about to say, yeah, it's like more on the unique side.
Very strange in a way. Some people find it very creepy. It's kind of like, think of an old porcelain doll. It's
like some of them I could understand with the aesthetic. Like she has this one flick. I'm pretty sure it's the flick that Coco's Crazy used for thumbnail. It's like the Joan where she's like all white. She has the white hair. Like aesthetics like that, I can see how that Joan is cool. But some of Umechi shit just looks straight up uncanny. And that's where it starts to get weird. And that's what I'm talking about in the intro where it like promotes these unrealistic beauty standards and shit.
Very, very edited. And she's very open about it. Not everyone is.
See, like, yeah, shit like that.
For example, those are two of her TikToks. You can see she shows the before and after, and there is a huge difference. And she's open about that. I know that a lot of people do edit their photos. I personally kind of think that's cool to show your editing process, to present it, to not kind of hide it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I was stamping that in most of the time going over her drama. It's like, yo, that part of the shit is fine. Like, if you want to do that, it's cool. It's just a factor of, again, she's in not so good communities, especially on Twitter. So, like, with the shit she be promoting, it's just like, yo, with some of her shits, it just may give niggas the wrong vibes.
Unreal expectations. So that personally is something that made her kind of stand out, I believe, in a way on TikTok, because you got to be unique in some way. There's a lot of people doing the same style as her, but she stood out, I think, because of that. Here were Lisa QQQ's takes on it.
People just loved how she's so transparent about editing and doesn't want to put unrealistic beauty standards out there.
And it is nice because there are a lot of young girls on the app that will fall for that. They will see that and be like, oh, wow, she's so beautiful. I wish I could look that way. But when they...
To this day, they're still doing this. And that's one of the problems I had mentioned too. Like, yo, with some of the audience she's cultivating, yeah, she's getting a lot of... niggas, right? But she's also cultivating an audience of, like, you know, young teenage girly pops or whatever, and like them seeing this shit, they could be influenced by her. Again, like, if you literally just go in her comments, I literally had to go back on her gram and shit or whatever to have the thumbnail pic. Y'all seen the video, you're watching the vid or whatever, and airheads are still like sitting there supporting her, like, oh yeah, you're the prettiest ever, yada yada, just and third. So it's clear that she has like an influence on at least that part of our audience that are like, you know, teenage girly pops. And with some of the shit she's promoting, it could be very bad and harmful to them. Ooh, not good.
I see that she edits it, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I mean, it's not the end of the world. She can make herself look prettier, but she's open about it. She was really proud of that, and she kind of spread that message around. The problem is, though, that she's pretty problematic at the end of the day.
Very.
It doesn't just come down to this making her a good person. In my personal opinion, she's far from a good person. And
not even, like, nowhere near a good person in any regard.
And her response made everything so much worse, so we'll be breaking that down at the end. And I know there's some of you that are going to be commenting, this is old, why are you talking about this? This was 2 months ago. I know that a lot of videos on her were from 2 months ago, but a lot of them didn't cover her response, which was actually pretty recently. So
no, we covered that motherfucker. We did. We suffered through that shit.
I feel like I should just go over the things she's accused of and then go over her response, because her response overall just sounded like ChatGPT. Maybe she's just really intelligent and she uses big words, but it just sounded like a ChatGPT script.
On second thought, I am never going to delete any of my videos. I am too cool for that. I had 2 tablets left of my mood stabilizers. I'm going to make the full use of them so that I stop being impulsive and thinking less of myself.
So I saw a TikTok on her, and that's really what pulled me towards her account. But when I was first on her account, the first person I thought of was, she kind of reminds me of Clara Dao in a way, because she really...
Interesting. I could see that.
Really is very...
It's just promoting, like, again, like, the one unrealistic, not even unrealistic, fuck that, the goddamn EDs. That's just straight up where it is. I ain't even gonna lie, because obviously I know what Clara Dao shit, her whole fucking video about, you know what I'm saying, her eating habits and shit. One of the worst shits I've ever seen. Along with fucking Umechi obviously being in fucking ED Twitter spaces and shit like that. So I could see that correlation. Yeah.
Very open about her insecurities, and she doesn't really try to look perfect or hide it. I mean, maybe not like Clara Dao. Now that I think about it, they're not really comparable, but you get the idea. They both talk about body.
Now, in some aspects, you could compare them, but I feel like in terms of content, obviously, she was going for, like, Clara Dao was going for body positivity until she was a complete hypocrite on that shit. And Umechi has just been doing... this shit. So yeah, but in terms of like their niches and shit, nah. But in terms of the negatives, maybe a little bit.
Problems they've had in the past, and I'm just not going to go too much into depth because YouTube is really strict on that type of stuff. Now, let's continue with the main problems she's been facing and the controversy she's been in. So the TikTok I found on her was this one. Realizing you defended a creator just to later discover they're problematic and racist towards their own race. And I was firstly thinking, who the heck is Umechi? Like, I've never heard of this girl before, but I found her page, and then I went down a huge rabbit hole full of a lot of really not fun stuff. We're going to start with the lower controversy, the less controversial things she's done, which are still very controversial, and then quickly move up to the very bad stuff that she's allegedly done. Let's first off start with the kind of less, but still very bad controversy she's been in.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. Like I mentioned before, Umechi is Filipino, but one of the controversies surrounding her is that allegedly she's trying to be Japanese specifically.
Yeah, they were saying, yeah, she's East Asian fishing in Jones like that.
Sense the comments from a mile away. Oh, wham, wham, wham. What are you talking about? She's just respecting her culture. You're such an annoying brat. No, just listen to what I have to say first. So, basically, she's been leaked to have been, like, trying to pronounce American words as Japanese. And just, like, she kind of failed, so people were making fun of her. There's a whole hate train on TikTok about it. People would imitate her, use her voice as an audio after she did that. But it got a lot worse after this situation happened.
そうだ。はい。全然わかんない。全然わかんないです。
Yo, funny enough, I actually never seen this clip.
椿プレミアム X レペアシャンプー。この椿。
And I know it just seems like she's trying to respect a culture at first glance, and she just failed and kind of embarrassed herself, which I know some of us sometimes want to discover new cultures, and we just kind of
I was
embarrass.
about to say, like, nah, I understand if heads want to go, like, embrace themselves in a new culture, because this is the same thing I was saying, like, when heads go on vacations to, like, foreign countries and all that. Like, obviously, yo, you want to travel, go on vacation, like, have fun and chill and shit like that, like, get an experience. But, like, yo, if you're going to a foreign country, like, yo, heads may want to embrace themselves more, like, directly in the culture, learn about, like, the heritage and things and such like that, like, traditions. And that's cool. Umechi, is it for the TikToks?
Embarrass ourselves because we don't understand them, but it is just worse than that because she's a hypocrite. After failing to speak properly with Japanese, she would make a bunch of different comments, specifically this one saying how it's embarrassing when people try to learn Japanese and they're just embarrassing. And it got worse from there because not only did she insult people for trying to learn Japanese after she did the same exact thing, she would then make a racist comment about her own race. She would refer to her own race as inbred and just throw a bunch of insults towards it, and I found it—
That's what I'm saying. Like, hold on, going on her shit. Hold on.
She would refer to her own—
Yeah, like, all that shit on Facebook was wiped. I was like, yo, so when she had that clip, that Coco's Crazy show earlier, like, yo, she would never delete videos and shit. Nah, she got these shits off the jump.
race is inbred and just throw
They archived, though, as we can see.
a bunch of insults towards it. And I found a TikTok kind of defending— well, not defending, that's a strong word, but kind of giving a background to why she'd make such a claim like this. Because, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Her making comments about her own race, that just doesn't feel right.
Last year, I went to the Philippines for the first time in a very long time, and I noticed something interesting. I noticed that everywhere there were billboards for skin lightening, and that almost no one on their television was a brown-skinned Filipino.
So basically what this account that goes by Star and this woman is saying is that it's really a culture there to be, like, a lot of them want to be lighter skinned. It is kind of just something pushed at them. So it's kind of more of a massive problem involving lots of people rather than just one individual. She's not—
I mean, I could, like, to a degree, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's just not the aspect, because within Umechi, like, obviously making her edits and things and such like that, yo, this ain't even lighter skin. Like, in some of these, yo, she's just completely, like, just pale, bright white in all these other Johns in that edit. So it's like,
individually the only one that's pressured. And while these comments are completely unacceptable, this gives more of like a thing that a lot of people are pressured rather than her just randomly deciding, which just kind of gives more of a background and reasoning behind it, I suppose, even though once again I completely condone those comments.
This stereotypical gym uniform is a school uniform worn by students
now we're getting into the fucking meat and potatoes. Yep.
that go to school. There is no actual point of her owning this sort of clothing.
Exactly. And that's the John I kept trying to stamp in, because she's 19, or at least during the time, like 2 months ago. She was 19, because I don't know if her birthday may have passed or some shit. So she's either like 19 or 20, or at least during that time, 19 to 20. So she's definitely like 19, 20 now. But like, yo, even still to that factor, what is the point of owning this? Like, this uniform is usually worn by complete jits, bro. Like, I'm talking actual like elementary school, like grade school kids and shit like that. What is the purpose of you, one, owning this shit, two, making videos and shit, and then three, the mannerisms and the way she was jumping around in the fucking TikTok? It's like, yo, who is this for? But I know who it's for. You weird ass niggas.
So a video has resurfaced of her dancing around in a Japanese anime school outfit, and it's for like younger high school girls. And it gets worse than just that. Just hold your fingers. Don't comment anything right now. Just let me get into more. It's not simply just the uniform, but let me firstly explain why the whole school uniform thing is bad, and then we'll get into the more morbid details in this situation specifically.
The dance she's doing is actually from the song Loli God Requiem. The person in the video is a Mizukaki, meaning pretty loli, which basically means a young girl who likes to tease older men who are attracted to her.
There you go.
You knew what she was doing.
Big shout out.
You saw that, Joe? Hold on, wait.
Who likes to tease older men who are attracted to her. Umi knew what she was doing.
Umi knew what she was doing. She's lollibaiting. That's exactly what the fuck I was really trying to stamp in. Like, and this is for the heads. Obviously, I haven't seen like the videos back then. Like, yo, she is 100% a definitive lollibaiter. Lollibaiter. Terrible works we got going on here. Absolutely horrible. Ridiculous. Yeah, that's why she had to be swept up back when we covered. I don't even... Yo, she still be posting on the gram kind of recently. I do not know why. They should have been. Because I remember with the whole John, especially with her response too, she was talking about how she had a manager or whatever the fuck. And then, yo, Heads was kind of coming out saying her manager was most likely her mom. Like on some Piper Raquel shit. I was like, I already knew. Nah, they doing this shit for the clout and the bread or whatever the fuck is going on. But like, yo, I'm gonna stamp it in again here. Like I was stamping it in there. She needs no fucking socials. Not a social media, bro. It's very clear to see from what we're seeing here and in the shits on Facebook and all the other clips or whatever. It ain't working out too well for the girly pop.
Big shout out to Lisa for gathering a bunch of this information. I kept on looking through TikToks for hours and I couldn't get down to what exactly the whole L to the N accusations were about. So I finally figured it out with this video and we're going to get into breaking it down. So basically...
Yeah, no, there was a bunch of heads that covered it. Shout out IHQV, Melody, Eris, you know what I'm saying? Yo, we were watching everybody cover this, John. I ain't gonna lie, they covered it really good too. I ain't gonna cap, so... check them out, you know what I'm saying? If you see the other videos, want to catch up on that whole John, you know what I'm saying? I need to make a playlist for this, John. I need to make a playlist for all the other Johns, bro. Truly still lazy as shit. Truly still lazy as shit. Like, yeah.
She recorded a video of her dancing around in a school uniform from this one anime show. And overall, once again, I don't need to explain why that's really not appropriate because school outfits are situated genuinely with kids. And that just isn't really the most appropriate thing. I mean, sure, maybe it could have kind of been an accident. She wasn't really thinking about it. But then then it gets worse when you realize she was dancing to a song that specifically was about you know what. And I think the video I just showed you kind of breaks it down. And I think it's kind of hard to explain yourself out of this one when you literally used a song that was about you know what. It just like it's hard to explain that you just accidentally put
it's on like yo, again, we got to break it down. The mannerisms, well actually better yet, the fit, the mannerisms, the song, all this different shit. We know her history. Her favorite anime is I can't even talk. Goddamn, really can't remember shit. Yosuga no Sora and all that shit. Like, homie, hun, we know what this is. You're not tricking me. Yeah, you're done. You're done. Like, yo, what? I don't even. And heads were still trying to argue this, John. Like, no, bro, Umechi's not lollibaiting. Let's get for real.
A school uniform. For those who are my loyal viewers and have watched past videos, I appreciate you firstly, and secondly, you know my take on this. I talked about the XOXO team. They're like a shorts team that has like different influencers come on. They had Kiki Kim, they had Nevada, a bunch of them, and they would always dance in school uniforms and do usually not very appropriate things. Some of it would be very, very disgusting, and I don't know why, but I guess it gets more clicks.
Fucking Gary dumbass, yeah. That nigga dumb as shit. Nigga's still bad at business, clearly.
When you dress this way, but it just simply is not appropriate in my opinion. And it would continue to get worse as a screenshot would have her openly supporting you know the rest ends with a T, and it's about a boy and a girl related to each other doing you know what. In a screen.
Yep. See? Yep. I just realized my body is good enough now to cosplay Sora Kasagano and Saya. Who the fuck is this? Again, like I said, if you look it up, because I ain't looking it up on this motherfucker. Bro, if you look up Yosuga no Sora anime, Twincest, y'all know how they fucking goes down. Brother, sister, yada yada. Bullshit.
Screenshot of the comment on Facebook. Once again, she really likes that app. I don't know why. I don't have it.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my god, Umechi, she fucking roached, bro. Yeah, she definitely deleted all that shit on Facebook, bro.
And I just always get memes about it being for old people, so I don't know why she likes it. But anyway, she would talk about wanting to cosplay a story where a boy and a girl commit not so good acts, specifically considering the fact that they are related.
I'm tired of being an influencer. I'm tired of everything in general. I don't know how to make significance of myself at this point, and I'm so exhausted.
Well, doing the shit on social that you're doing, again, hun, is not gonna better your life, so I'll tell you. It's not this shit.
After this kind of took off on TikTok, this entire controversy, well, these many controversies, people would turn on her, and it felt so wrong for someone who was so open about their struggles, about everything. I mean, it's almost like social media isn't real, and most people that pretend to care about something have completely different things. And in other words, they have a lot of skeletons behind their closet. In their closet, not behind their closet.
全然わかんないです。どうしよう。
This truly was some huge news for the unemployed, but I feel like even though these things
Massive day for the unemployed. Yo, shout out WestJet.
being discussed about her were really, really bad, she always needs a chance to clear it up, maybe prove some of it wrong. Who knows? Maybe she's gonna apologize. It'll be really, really good, and we can forgive her and move on.
No. Her response, dog water.
But something I've realized is when you give an influencer who's built their career off of especially short-term content a chance to apologize, they suddenly decide that they're a celebrity and we're all just peasants who would never understand or have the capability to accommodate or realize how really amazing and better than everyone they are. That's something.
It's that TikTok shit. It's that short form clout. I ain't gonna lie. Like, motherfuckers could end up blowing up like crazy, you know what I'm saying? On shits like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and like IG Reels and shit like that, bro. Be gassing niggas' heads up, bro. They got them doing crazier shit. Then they realize if they want to get more and more views, keep getting that shit, they gotta do more and more wild shit. But even in the case of Umechi, it's not even on that factor. It's more or less on the factor she had some very, you know what I'm saying, not healthy things that she's interested in, as well as obviously her mental state not being in the best capacity within posting out on social media, and then having social media also like trickle down and like interacting with motherfuckers and all this different shit. Recipe for disaster. Recipe for disaster. We should not have let her cook. We definitely should not have let her ass cook, bro. Please turn off the stove. Like,
we've seen it time and time again. Obviously not directing this towards anyone. There's no one I've ever had experience with this before doing something like this. Yeah, no direct references there at all. Anyway, with that, let's continue. We might as well give her a chance with her response. It can't be that bad, can it? It can't be that condescending and jerk-like, can it? Can it? Okay, good. Let's
actually,
get
it's
into
worse.
it.
Hello. I will begin by saying that this will be an acknowledgement video, but not an apology video.
This is not an apology because
Damn. Yo, yo, this is the funniest shit, bro. I can't, bro. Holy fuck. Yo, these motherfuckers. Yeah, I swear to God. Clara, yeah, your ass is swept. We're going to be seeing your ass later. I swear. And then even on that factor, like, am I gonna be surprised by this shit? It's just like, yo, what do I say all the time with patterns of behavior? You have to acknowledge that you made a mistake and did something wrong to grow and change. Clara Dao, this ain't no apology. I'm not apologizing because I didn't do anything wrong. Umechi, I just want to acknowledge to everyone that this will not be an apology. So then why the fuck are you here? Why the fuck are you in front of my face? Like, you're responding and shit. Aren't you supposed to be apologizing for the fucking backlash and criticism? Why are you here? Bruh. Ah, man. Pathetic. Pathetic.
Do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong.
Yes, I will drag the whole Clara Dua situation months later.
Ooh, they must have never seen me. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Yo, Trilly is like fucking Ethan with this shit, bro. Like, the pettiness is a fun type of thing. Cause yeah, and I'll always reference that shit.
Just to show that, because it is so
like, yo, Clara Dao gonna get every reference, bro. I'm telling you.
Familiar with these type of influencers. They all talk the exact same when it comes to apologizing or responding. They're not even apologizing. And I get that the claims that people are talking about and the things they have to say are not nice, and they're sending you mean comments and they're saying mean things, and I totally get that. Like, it's really, really annoying, and you want to spit in their face and be like, no, I'm right, you're wrong. wrong, you idiot. I'm not apologizing to you. But sometimes the best thing to do, even though you are mad at the people mad at you, is to apologize and admit you did some things wrong. Maybe
that's what I'm saying. You have to acknowledge, like, okay, maybe I did make a mistake. Because it's one thing, like, again, this is the whole thing with the hating, genuine criticism. Like, if motherfuckers is just hating and all that shit, and they're not, like, pointing out anything to where, like, you could actually grow and change within what they're saying. Like, bro, that shit is just hate. But when heads are telling you, like, yo, okay, this such and such, this is bad, like, yo, it's really no shade, yada yada, like, yo, or criticizing you for things that you blatantly did, that's one factor. If one person is saying it, it's like, all right, maybe this head has just got their opinions on you and it's whatever. If multiple motherfuckers, especially like with your audience, or not even with her audience, excuse me, from niggas from the outside, and you're blatantly seeing this shit, like, no, you definitely have to acknowledge you're doing something wrong. Like, you gotta look inside yourself, because, like, yo, it's one thing if it's one nigga, but if it's mad niggas and then hella niggas making vids on you, like, yo, Umechi, hun, you did some shit wrong. Like, you need to actually apologize. You're going to acknowledge that you fucked up.
some of the things they said weren't correct, but at the end of the day, it's probably best to just back down and apologize rather than make them even more mad, which so many people have just made the mistake of underestimating their audience.
I will acknowledge many things, but apologize for very few, because the central fact in all of this is that my case is based on the intentional distortion of ordinary truths and the extreme magnification of horrible lies.
Okay, I know some people have really, really big vocab and they just know a lot of big words, but this...
Yes. Holy fuck. Yo, that was another thing that was so funny, because I know I was mentioning earlier, the main problem with her shit, like I said, was that, like, she wasn't really addressing the lolly-baiting and, like, cultivating, like, an audience of diddlers and shit like that. But, like, yo, the thing that was annoying as fuck in this video, too, was that, like, yo, and shit, I say it all the time, so I'm like, I don't even give a fuck. Like, Trilly is a dumbass, bro. I'm gonna keep it a whole stack. Trilly, intelligence, not happening, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Grab her, that shit is shot. I ain't gonna lie, that shit is shot. Y'all see me all the time. I can't even get out a full sentence. It's tough. But, yo, Umechi was using, like, fucking words. Like, it's like she was scanning a fucking thesaurus, bro. She was like, this one looking right in the sentence. Bro, let me add a comma right next to that shit. Maybe a semicolon. I'm like, bro, you do not need to be using these words like Umechi, hun. You can simplify this shit down. And you could really simplify it by not bullshitting and just apologizing. But I mean, that's tough.
This literally sounds like ChatGPT, and I'm not saying it is, like, for sure, because I mean, yeah, I can't just throw that out there. People do.
That was a pure 100% Umechi, and you want to know why we knew? Because it was still some bullshit.
Have good vocab. Maybe I'm just brain rotted from the amount of AI I see all the time, but it just sounds like a really, really, really AI generated script.
Nah, she was using words I'm pretty sure she didn't even know what the fuck meant. Like, I'm guaranteed on that.
All to fuel an orchestrated mass of hate in such excess that no human being should ever have to experience in their lifetime.
I agree that you shouldn't receive, like, the threats you did and the comments of telling you to you know what were not appropriate, obviously, but, like, you're acting like these just came out of nowhere. Like, there was...
Yeah, no, again, hate, genuine criticism. There were motherfuckers being on some weird shit trying to dox her and, like, all that other shit, and, like, yeah, that's bad. But nah, like I said, she can get criticism. There's no way in hell. Like, my opinion was already gave. Like I said, shit, we back on it, still giving it, because I'll be damned. Like, again, are y'all not seeing this shit? Y'all saw the clip. Y'all saw the clip. Tell me what the fuck that one TikTok was. Go ahead. Like, yo, come on.
There's a reason behind why people were mad, and there's still a reason why they're mad, because this response is super stuck up for no reason.
Going on to live my life, trying to compose myself beneath moment-by-moment anxiety attacks and day-by-day harassment. I allowed for all comments to exist and thrive as they were written, just about...
Yo, this fucking teddy bear shit was throwing me off the whole time, and it's still throwing me off now. Because why the fuck does this nigga have a charger in his cock? Like, I mean, I'm not even trying, like, be on some bullshit or whatever, bro. Like, oh my god, Trilly's clip farming. But, like, yo, this shit, it's like, bro, if this was part of the aesthetic, bro, this part of that uncanny shit.
All of which were bullying and hate speech.
One thing that annoys me is she starts the majority of the video talking about the accusation of her deleting comments, and I just feel like that isn't really a big thing to address. Because
yeah, that shit was kind... Actually... Cause I'm trying to think back. That shit, like, it obviously, like, yo, we know. Well, again, if this is your first time seeing this shit, well, now you know what the fuck the major problems with this shit is. But like on the tier list, like there was a good amount of things that obviously were causing problems, and I would feel like her deleting comments and shit like that. Yeah, obviously we'd agree. Just in general, like deleting comments, like I guess you can criticize motherfuckers for that or whatever the fuck. I mean, it depends on what kind of comments it is. Obviously, if you're deleting comments that are genuine criticism of you or whatever, like you're shelving. We know that. And then, yo, motherfuckers on YouTube, content creators never beat the fucking YouTube comments delete allegations, bro. Even though YouTube just be sweeping comments out, they just be like getting them shits gone, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. It's not me, I swear. It's YouTube. It does. No, I'll never delete comments, bro. I ain't gonna hold. I'm gonna delete comments, and I say all the time, yo, we need to be having discourse. Like, yo, I'm gonna take the criticisms and shit to the chin. Trilly would be a dumbass and a hypocrite. Like, fuck. But like, and y'all done went into a whole nother sidebar. I almost lost my last John. But it's like,
Because at the end of the day, TikTok deletes literally everything that people comment. You can't comment anything without it censoring it. It's a joke. Honestly, TikTok just censors literally everything. So I don't really think that's a big deal. Like, I don't care. Like, that's not my concern. If you delete comments, yeah, whatever. At the end of the day, that's not really an important thing. There's a lot more things she should be covering. And she doesn't really spend as much time covering those things as she's...
Miss Coco's Crazy has not failed me. Exactly. That's what I was saying. She did not spend the time covering the main shit the most, the lolly baiting and shit. She skirted right past that boy. She covered it for like 5 minutes or some shit. I'm like, never, bruh. You spent she dead ass. I think how long was her shit? It was like 30 minutes or some shit. But she spent like legitimately like a third of the video, maybe like more than that shit, on like the whole Lolita aesthetic thing and her doing like her edits and shit. I'm like, Umechi, I just don't give a fuck. Like, I'll be real. Like, yo, again, if some of the lover babes watching, shout out y'all, want to do the edits and all that, like, that's cool, but like, that's not what niggas were really on your ass for. Like, they were on ass for other shit.
Spends covering the little accusations that don't really matter.
I locked my Facebook profile, not because I was in fear of being exposed even more, but because each day for months now, people were very actively taking my videos, photos, and words posted from there so that they could blatantly impersonate me across platforms, dig for extremely personal information like my name, the names of my family, my friends, or where we live, and most apparently, incriminate me by taking my posts out of their very ordinary context.
Her main argument.
Nah, people trying to intimidate her, like, not intimidate, fucking imitate her and all that shit is weird. But I do question, like, not even the doxing, because people were trying to do that shit too. I'm not even down that. But, like, if again, that information is on your public Facebook or whatever, I mean, I don't really know.
Argument is that these things
probably just wouldn't have that shit on there.
Taken out of context, but I don't think they were taken out of context. The things you said were the things.
Oh yeah, like the shit about, you know, the inbred shit and all that with Filipinos. Yeah, no, that shit is stamped. She also had this one, what was that one shit? She was being hypocritical as fuck in that, John. She was like, yo, yeah, like, you can't criticize people for being ugly and all this different shit, especially when they waste time, like, buying bags, shoes, all this shit. I'm like, Umechi, you've done that same shit in DMs and shit. What are you talking about? Like, huh?
You said you weren't just saying them for fun. I mean, how do you even explain this? I mean, how do you not know?
What do you mean, how do we explain this? It's self-explanatory. She was on bullshit.
What this was talking about. You don't just randomly name a show and not have any idea what anything.
It's literally her favorite fucking anime. Like, there was like a fucking John of like her saying this shit.
The characters did in the show. She kind of responded on her TikTok.
This is what I was talking about earlier, yo, with the all-white John. Like, this aesthetic, I could actually say this is cool. Like, I actually find this fire. But like, some of the other shit, some of her other edits, like, if you type Umechi in Google and go to images, some of that shit, like, yo.
TikTok account to the allegations, and again, she uses that out of context.
See, like, y'all would generally say, like, this is nice. Like, she looks generally pretty in here, like, and shit here too. Like, this is really cool. Not all the time, though.
Argument over and over and over again. And it's just like, at the end of the day, that isn't a valid argument. You have to have real evidence that it was out of context, and she just kind of fails to deliver that. Most of the video, she kind of just focuses on the little accusations. She talks about the harassment she got, which I get it. Yes, that is very, very bad. Do not want that to continue. That is not good. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, she spends little of her response video actually explaining how these things were taken out of context.
Exactly.
And she kind of fails at defending herself.
To contort and make them as scandalous as conceivably possible. And fourthly, I changed my profile picture because I felt like it. The last of these three were very mild decisions, but were still heavily weaponized against me.
Again, she spends little time actually explaining why she's in the wrong. I'm not going to go over every single accusation, but you can easily find her channel. Just look it up and you can see the video for yourself. Go through it, see what you think. But overall, the video just seems very, like, I know it's scripted. I mean, it's fine to script your videos, but it's just so scripted to the extent just the words she uses are very, very, very large. It almost feels like ChatGPT in a way. I don't know why, but maybe she just really likes to use big words. I know that's a dumb thing to focus
Like, I'm telling you, yo, I need her to define some of these shits.
on. It just kind of annoyed me the whole time she was using these huge words.
It's an absolute reflection of herself. Instead, editing is always collectively reduced to being something solely based within insecurity.
Hell yeah, that's a script. You don't see the fucking, like, what's the name in her glasses? I'm like, bro, look at this shit. You can see the MacBook shit, the menu shit on the bottom.
And disingenuousness.
And she may just have a really good vocab. I know I'm probably just brain rotted, but a lot of people did accuse her of ChatGPT, so I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a
I don't think she, well, maybe actually. No, I doubt she actually used ChatGPT to, like, write her shit, but I definitely think she was using the script and all that shit. Again, just based off the words she was using. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Ain't nobody, bro, some of these words, I'm like, bro, no one's using this in common dialect and in common, like, normal everyday conversation.
Possibility she used it. I don't really know at the end of the day, though. Maybe we are all just brain rotted from the amount of AI we see on the daily.
Touche.
And I went to her page after this entire situation went down, and I guess she did get a few less hate comments. In her YouTube channel, especially, for some reason, people kind of agreed with it. I see this happen. People get canceled. They make a response, even if it's kind of poorly made. I don't know if it's just me, but that's happened quite a few times, and it doesn't always work. Sometimes the opposite happens. They'll get a lot of backlash, but sometimes they'll make a really poor response, and everyone in the comments will be like, I don't normally like you, but now I like you because you made a really, really bad response, but I like it for some reason.
That's what that's called. Glazing them the fuck up.
I don't know, that just happens sometimes. But her TikTok, people still don't like her. She's still getting hate comments a lot. And I mean, I guess that's just kind of that. I feel bad, but like, once again, this hate is really, really cruel, but it didn't come from nowhere. The comments she made were really...
She did. I'd say some things we could criticize.
Inappropriate and weird, and they were definitely not taken out of context. And since there's been a lot of negativity, I guess I'm going to go on to something kind of positive about her. I personally think that she's really, really pretty, and I feel like it's kind of cool that she's open.
Oh yeah, I was saying that shit the whole time too. Like, generally, obviously, Umechi, like, without all the filters and the editing and shit, like, she's actually a pretty girly pop. Like, I'm actually serious. Like, she's generally pretty, so I don't know why she feels as though, like, so insecure on Joan. Like, she could still do her edits or whatever the fuck, because that's really not as much the harmful shit. Again, like, some parts with the unrealistic beauty standards, but then, like, you could, I guess, argue that more or less. But like I said, we know the real shit she needs to be criticized for. But on a basis, like, I don't feel like she should feel as insecure, because she is, like, on a base level, is a generally pretty girly pop. Like, hun, you don't gotta go too crazy on it, John. Like, you're not ugly. I don't know, but obviously everyone has their insecurities in some aspect of your life, but the main thing is, obviously, you don't want to let those insecurities bog you down, and especially if they're changeable ones. But I guess with her, John, it's not changed. Like, genetics is genetics, you know how that goes. RNG for DNA or whatever, and then however you look's how you look. But then, obviously you do certain things like workout and or like dieting, and then obviously that change like how you look and shit like that. But basically, Trill going into a whole fucking yap sesh. On a base level, I do agree with Gogo's crazy, and I've said this in all the vids before. Like, Umechi is pretty. I don't know why she's feeling as insecure, but again,
about her insecurities, so she doesn't like trap other girls or make other girls feel like they're like the only ones to feel this way. Because I know a lot of girls do edit their posts, they probably feel really guilty about it, but this way she's like, hey, I don't look this way naturally. I do a lot of editing too. It's okay to feel this way. It's normal, it's natural. So while she has made a lot of comments and done some things that I really, really don't like and I find very problematic, that's something positive I'll say, because I feel like a video just negative is, I don't even know, I just want it to be positive, okay?
全然わかんないです。 始めましょう。始めましょう。
Yeah, I just read the fucking comment up here. Is Japanese a hard language? X.
That element being when you look hard enough. Or in other words, if you...
Yo, I didn't even peep Darth under the corner, bro. Yo, he said... I'm sorry. Yo, bro, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. That's why that shit was really torture watching her fucking response shit. Cause I'm like, dude, this shit is fucking like, oh my god, bro. Like, that shit was really hell. Again, especially through the part where, like, Uncle Reese was saying, like, I was telling y'all, like, where she's covering, like, parts of, like, her whole drama and all these controversies going on within her drama. Like, she's focusing on, like, the main, like, editing shits and all that. I'm like, bro, we not here for this, bro. Like, we dead ass not here for this shit at all. Well, holy fuck, no, that shit had me fucking crying, bro. This shit got him knocked.
reach far enough into your line of sight.
Again, the like you're assuming this or out of context argument is just so terrible and completely.
Yeah, that shit was obviously dog shit because again, niggas archived them shits you post on Facebook, hun. Umechi, we got them clips. It looks terrible.
Stupid that I can't.
Not to mention, have we even talked about her Pinterest? Yeah, let's not even talk about that. It'll get worse.
Get over she made this argument. That's how she defended against the L to the N arguments, is that people said if you look hard enough you can see how this is portraying such a disturbing reality or such a disturbing thing. And no, it's not the whole like, oh, I can figure it out if I dig deep enough and if I look hard enough. No, it's like literally the song is representing it. The school uniform isn't appropriate. Like, we're not.
See, this is the shit I be talking about. Like, again, if you want to call me a dumbass because, like, oh, I guess you're not serious. You're not seeing the intricate fine judge or whatever. That. Fair, cool, and all that shit. But I tell you one thing that I know that I have. You know what? Trilly on some confident tip. He got to bust out his ego for this one. Y'all know Trilly ain't on shit. But, yeah, I know for sure a nigga got common sense. I would hope everyone got that shit, right? We're firing our fucking 2 brain cells, you know, the neurons, synapses, and all that shit. And like I was crazy saying, uniform, that's for grade schoolers. Fuck you got this shit on for. Mannerisms, very childlike. Music, as we fucking discussed and seen in the clips, is from a song in which, it's got to do with not so pleasant things. What are we doing here? Like, I can't believe this, Joan. I don't know how Umechi isn't swept. Like, and if anything, it's not even on a factor of, like, canceling her. She just genuinely, like, needs to get off social media. And that was another thing I kept stamping in during that time, too. Like, socials is just not for her. Like, this social media shit is generally, as you can see, fucking her life up royally. Like,
not just assuming this stuff. Like, she's literally just kind of gaslighting at this point. I was expecting some actual evidence against it, like, oh, this is a fake screenshot, blah, blah, blah. Nope, no denial on any of that. Just simply saying, you guys assumed. You guys looked too deep. The music I was listening to had actual references towards that, you know what? Towards doing that type of stuff. You guys are just assuming. You guys are looking too hard into it. I was just doing it for fun, guys. I wasn't thinking about it. You guys are all crazy. But you don't realize that because she literally talks about that way later into the video. She spends the first 10 minutes just talking about her situation, her harassment and stuff. And yes, once again, I get it. That is really, really bad. But at the end of the day, you actually need to explain why the
See, like, look right here. This is Umechi, like, no filter, none of that, John. Like, yo, Umechi is not dead ugly. Now, if some heads look at Umechi and be like, bro, nah, bro, I'm not feeling her. Nah, bro, she not me. Hey, that's fair. But is she the ugliest girl ever? Nigga, no. Like, obviously fucking duh. Like, and in my opinion, obviously, like you said too, like, yo, she's generally pretty. I don't understand. I don't know why she gotta do all some of this shit. We're gonna keep it pushing now.
Things made against you are false or apologize at least, instead of just arguing that people look too hard into it when there's literal evidence against you. Her entire response, to put it plainly, is just super condescending and super just, like, it's like she pulled it out of her butt last night. Like, she just made it up. She just came up with desperate attempts to defend herself.
No, you're just bullshitting. You just don't know what you're talking about. Right.
because there really wasn't much to go against those arguments I went over, except that we took it out of context or we looked into it too deeply. Yes, imagine hating you for doing nothing. Like, you're innocent. You did absolutely nothing.
It's my favorite. Dodging accountability. Oh, man, a masterclass at it too. Umechi's a professional. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. A lot of people these days that we cover tend to do this bullshit. It's a commonality.
And no disrespect to this girl, like, I get it. You got a lot of hate and stuff. You got a ton of hate. But at the end of the day, sometimes you gotta...
Yeah, the hate, she don't need that. Hate is not justified. Criticism very much is so.
Acknowledge that some of the hate is criticism. It's not all just unwarranted harassment. Some of it is genuine criticism because a lot of the things you've done deserve criticism. Not people telling you to you-know-what. That's just hate. But people
Exactly. This is why I keep stamping it in every video. I'm not going to keep saying that, John, like now. But yeah, like, you have to make that separation. There is genuine criticism, and then there are niggas hating. You, Umechi, are getting, for the most part, genuine criticism because what the fuck? The hate, hey, you're getting that too. But fuck those niggas. Y'all niggas weird. Get the fuck off of computer, bro. And that's coming from the nigga who doesn't touch grass.
Genuinely criticize you and don't kiss every single thing you do. Don't kiss your feet for every decision you make. That's criticism, not hate. And in her response, I shouldn't even call it an apology because she didn't really apologize.
Nah, that shit definitely ain't no damn apology.
At all. Okay, she didn't apologize at all. But in her response, she does talk about how her information was leaked, personal information, and that is really, really sad and disgusting. On the internet, that's happening more and more because the internet's just becoming more of a thing. I've said that a million times, but like, it is really, really sad that that type of stuff got leaked, and I feel bad for her in that situation. I get that. That's
what I was saying earlier. Like, she got doxxed and all that shit, and we can sympathize for that because obviously you don't want to put anyone's family and or them in danger and all that shit, and you shouldn't want to do that. That's what I'm saying. You niggas online, weird as fuck. It's time to go outside. But yeah, that still doesn't absolve her from, like, being criticized for other things.
Very, very troubling, and that should never have happened. That is straight up just hate. That's beyond hate. That is horrible. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't give you an excuse to defend. Like, it's not an automatic thing to justify your actions.
Exactly.
And I obviously don't support any of the things that were done to her to leak her information and stuff and put her mental health at such a serious risk. But what I'm saying is, it's like my dog getting run over by a truck and then me being like, it's okay that I sent those photos to children because my dog got run over. You know, it's two different things.
Yeah, like, they don't correlate at all. And it's like, even off that factor, it's still, you can get criticized because it is a separate thing.
That you just simply can't use as a shield against criticism that is valid.
Directly.
While it isn't a morally correct strategy, it did work pretty effectively because the YouTube comments were kind of kissing her butt for no reason too. The entire response was just a big spit in the criticism face. Like, anyone who criticized her just getting spat in the face with that response video. But at the end of the day, people bought it. They bought it so much. They were like, you're so great. I may not like you, but you are really great and your responses are great and everything about you is great. That's basically to summarize.
Nah, that's crazy. Saying you don't like her, but her response is good, bro. I mean, well, that can happen. Like, yo, that definitely can happen. Like, obviously, you could, like, someone... This is the shit I be saying about Hassan, for instance, on a good tip. Like, if Hassan says something that is actually correct, you know what I'm saying, which doesn't do a lot. That goes. Like, if he says something correct, I'll own up to that and obviously be like, yeah, this nigga is right. But that's the only time, bro, or whatever, right? Like, when he was in the fucking debate, I forgot, was it on the debate? Yeah, it was on the debate with Ethan, right? And he brought up the thing that Nick DeOrio, he actually literally just brought up Nick DeOrio. Funny, because apparently he doesn't know who the fuck Nick DeOrio is. But whatever, sidebarring that. He was like talking about the YouTube dislike shit and how the extension is bullshit and you shouldn't believe all that. And I'm like, God fucking damn it, because the nigga is right. We gave the nigga a talking point. Like, shit. You know what I mean? So they're kind of on a factor like that where, like, obviously, not very fond of him. But I can admit if the nigga's right. And that's what some niggas in her comments were doing. It's like, yeah, I don't fuck with you, but hey, your response was good, even though it wasn't. Like,
her comment section. If there was AI to summarize it, that's what it would say. I don't like you normally, but this was amazing and you're a perfect person.
Bro, like, nigga, how do you explain that shit? Like, you fucking can't, bro. You can't argue against that shit.
Something I've seen people do a lot, and I've noticed is becoming more of a trend with influencers, is that they don't actually attack an argument made against them. They kind of go for something else. Like, you don't...
Yo, Coco's Crazy started busting out the XQC point. He said, don't attack me, attack my story, attack my argument. Never. Hold on.
Support this action I made that was really, really disgusting and weird. Well, I guess you support all that stuff that people said about me. I guess you support this thing I don't support. It's just like they don't actually attack the criticism. They go for something else, something that makes that
Try to shift the goalpost and shit like that, or try to play the plausible deniability. Shit ain't working.
person look bad because they can't actually attack the argument because they're in the wrong. It's basically like using labeling or something to make yourself invincible to criticism. It's something I just see being done. I know some of you don't know what I'm talking about, but the more chronically online people probably are forming an image of someone of some sort. I can't think of anyone specifically right now, but some of you probably have someone in mind. And it's so easy to deny it. Like, I didn't know, but like, you can't really deny the screenshots. Like, there's just, the evidence piling on her is overwhelming, and the out of context argument simply doesn't cover it all.
How are you gonna cosplay being intelligent and eloquent and all of that when you don't even have any self-awareness? I've been thinking about like what bugged me the most.
True, but then it's also at the same time, again, and not to absolve her of the criticism, but she does have mental health issues, so.
It's about Umechi's non-apology is the fact that she presents herself as this like intelligent, academic, English-speaking person.
I found a girl on TikTok who did a really good job kind of breaking down why her response was just really, really poorly made and just bad. She starts off by saying how she just is really condescending and tries to act like she's smarter than everyone, which is true. She is clearly trying to act like she's like way more intelligent than all of her viewers.
She can use 100% of her brain power.
She's gonna make this video asking people to give their criticisms about her, even though they've been doing that. But again, she's trying to present herself as this like educated, eloquent person, but again, doesn't have the self-awareness to be able to identify what people are so angry about.
Exactly. She basically skips over all the actual bad accusations and spends
That's like, it's directly what she did too. That shit is so fucking sad.
The majority of the video complaining about the threat she got, which once again, for the 100th time, because I know someone's gonna take this out of context. Get it? Because anytime someone says one of the screenshots of the thing she says, which is terrible, is bad, it's probably just out of context and they're probably just digging.
Nah, that shit was AI. That shit was AI, bro. It's fake. It's fake, bro. Come on, bro. I never would say some shit like that. Never said that. Like, had us
too deep into it. But anyway, obviously those things were absolutely terrible. But it just doesn't act as a shield. It shouldn't be a shield for the things she said and done.
Make it make sense. And also, the purpose of that video
I'm just
wasn't.
like, they just can't, because again, the thing she said on the Facebook like post and all that shit is directly there. Niggas could prove that was her. What are you gonna say again? Like, I just came off of the AI argument? Nigga, fuck no, that wasn't no damn AI. Umechi, you said this shit. What are we talking about, baby?
To gather the constructive criticism that she was asking for in that video. Judging from the comments that she would like in the comment section, she's basically just liking the comments that are kissing her.
For those who don't know, she made a video asking for criticism, basically making herself or trying to make herself look like an open for criticism person. She isn't, obviously. You can just see from her response. She doesn't actually care about hearing criticism. She just classifies it all as hate.
So that video was just
Literally.
there to affirm her belief that she didn't do anything wrong and that she doesn't have to apologize for anything, which is why.
That's what I'm saying. Stamp it in. Patterns of behavior, huh?
She didn't make an apology video initially and just made that asking for constructive criticism video. And honestly, I think it's so silly the way she worded that whole video also. Like, girl,
I don't understand. And it's also like a factor of like, again, like the girly pop is saying, like she opened herself up to be criticized or whatever. She wants to have it so like coming off the response so that people could give their genuine criticism and explain it to her why she is getting criticized and all that, John. But still on that factor, like, didn't acknowledge it, did not change, still going on this, John. So then the question to that would be, what was the response for? And that's what I was coming off of in that when Coco's Crazy was showing the slim areas of Clara Dao, John. Like, what was it for? Why did you respond? Like, did you just want more fucking backlash? I guess so. What the fuck? Because even if niggas in the comments or whatever are still glazing you, the overall broad audience that's seen this shit, most of these niggas still can't understand what the fuck you did, Umi. Like,
let's get straight to the point. Not everything needs big words. Not everything needs flowery complicated.
Yeah, I could be missing something, but it just felt really, really condescending. But I've seen this with a lot of influencers.
My thing is too, like again, of what the girly pop is saying, and even what Coach Grace saying, like using all these big words and all this shit. Wouldn't it be? And I'm pretty sure I had said this during the John. Wouldn't it be in her best interest to simplify it down as much as possible so that people can like fully understand and you can fully convey your argument to the broadest amount of people, so that when they do watch this, John, they could understand what exactly you were trying to convey and like what exact John you were trying to get off. Why use all these fucking big ass words? Why the fuck were you like scanning the whole thesaurus like I was saying earlier in the John? Like, you don't need to do this. Like, that's just gonna make it worse. And now you're getting even more criticisms for that direct thing you did. It's like, yo, it just kept snowballing for her ass. It doesn't make sense.
Just want to be condescending because they got a lot of hate, they got a lot of mean stuff, and they're like, yeah, this is me spitting back at it. This is me fighting back.
Absolute reflection of herself. Instead, editing is always collectively reduced to being something solely based within insecurity.
I don't even know why we're asking him to script. You can see her eyes looking down, reading shit. Like, it's obvious it's a script.
And disingenuousness, because people cannot stand nor comprehend how others can just so easily reject that, do it on so.
How are we even questioning this? You can see she's literally doing the eye movements of how niggas read. Like look at my shit when I do this, bro. Like if I'm looking back and forth, like you can see her doing that shit. I ain't gonna lie. Like we know she reading the script again. Even some of these words, yo, if you're just, I'm dead ass serious. Unless you got like a PhD and you're a fucking philosopher or whatever the fuck, like, you know what I'm saying, and you're really down on your Shakespearean timing, yo, the word she was using in this, John, like I was saying kind of earlier, like, you're not using this in common practice, more or less in common conversation. Like, if you're having a day-to-day conversation, with one of your homies or like one of your peoples or whatever, you're not about to start busting out this nomenclature. I ain't gonna hold you, nigga. Big words, fuck out her. But like, yeah, I don't know why she would use these Jones. That just goes back to what I was just saying. Like, it doesn't make any sense for her ass. But I could understand having a script so you could, like, fully, again, back to what I was saying, goddamn TrillTalksEverything, convey bestly, like, what you're trying to get off. But why use these words? I'm done with Umechi ass.
Such large scale for.
And it wouldn't really matter. Don't take this video as me attacking her style. Like, you can do whatever you want on TikTok as long as it's not something involving the younger group of people, if you know what I mean. But social media shouldn't be a way
that and like just obviously putting out harmful content if your content were to potentially be so.
To shut yourself down, express your insecurities, all that, and show like that you like to do this certain thing you like to do. There's a place on TikTok for every community that's not illegal, obviously, but every community of people that want to look at girls that want to dress like porcelain dolls, girls that want to cosplay as any character from any show. Like, there's a community for everyone, and that's something kind of sweet about TikTok. There are so many problems with social media, and I'm not a social media hater, obviously. I'd be a super big hypocrite if I was. Like,
yeah, no, I don't hate social media either. There's some apps in specific I hate, like Twitter, but that I feel like we can all understand why that is. I ain't gonna lie. Like most people, even people that do like Twitter, can acknowledge why Twitter can be criticized and/or is a bad platform and shit like that. But like I always say, I'm a YouTube Glazer truly does indeed love the tube, even though sometimes with that too, YouTube can be criticized. They do a lot of dumb shit on the back end. But yeah, no, I feel good on that. Like, it would be hypocritical to be like, yo, fuck socials, all this shit. Like, even you can say social media is fucking up generations, because it is. But like, to be like, fuck all this junk, especially with YouTube being a social media and YouTube being my fucking job. This shit ain't no damn job. But like, yeah, like, it would be stupid. Socials, they can be good and very bad.
I love social media and what it's done for people, but something I really, really like about it is that it gives communities to people and gives people opportunities to express themselves in ways that you can't just normally go around dressed like a porcelain doll. But on TikTok, you can get likes, you can get love for it. Just like how I couldn't go to school and give a presentation on a TikToker who's canceled. Everyone would think I'm the weirdest person on earth. It's just,
that's why I would argue that's one of the good reasons that, like, I guess with TikTok and shit's coming out, there's an easier barrier to entry to making content and shit, because obviously, like, more and more people who don't have like professional production quality and shit like that can get into doing the shits. But then also on the back end, that exposes a lot more people too. Some bullshit. Like, yo,
It's like social media has a group for everyone, for every genre that's not, once again, illegal. But as the famous saying by someone I have no idea, some Roman dude or something goes, with great power comes great responsibility. When you have all these followers, when you have all these views...
Yo, what's that, Uncle Ben?
You have to be responsible. You can't just say this careless stuff. You can't post careless stuff. You have to be careful with what you do because a lot of eyes are on you. It's not like you're an account with one follower that no one will care about. And of course, it's probably stressful to like live up to their expectations and stuff. I mean, sometimes you just post random stuff, but like at the end of the day, I know it's probably stressful, and especially because a lot of people are hating on you. But at the end of the day, there's no excuse for what you do.
I mean, I can understand that too, but then there's also that certain level of where you don't want to be audience captured because there's a lot of motherfuckers, I would say, are definitely audience captured. For sure. These echo chambers, huh? Anyway, but off that, like, yeah, if you're just, like, putting out content that's strictly just to, like, satisfy, like, your audience and all that shit, and, like, you genuinely don't enjoy it, it's just to make sure, like, you're doing well on the alg and to, like, make sure, to see that people watching are satisfied, but you're not, like, personally happy about it, like, bro, you shouldn't be doing that shit. Again, motherfuckers get on, like, doing socials, like, social media and shit like that in order to be thinking about the cloud, the money, I could make so much money. Niggas will be so famous, they're gonna give me so much validation and gratification. Like, yo, if you're gonna do content, I would hope and pray that you actually like making content. Y'all know what I mean? Like, you like the process of doing it, at least on some end. I'll tell you what, I know a lot of motherfuckers, me included, do not fucking like editing. Holy shit. Trill doesn't edit for shit, but when Drilly does, ooh. Tell me about it. But like within that, I'm talking like making videos, recording, like doing all that different shit. You gotta enjoy that too, because if you don't and you're just getting in it for the clout and the money and all that shit, you're gonna, one, hit burnout really fucking fast, and two, to that, like, bro, you're just not gonna be over, like, just down with it, fucking with it, and this shit could fuck you up. Nice.
Did. And since you were unable to apologize and decide to deliver the most condescending response of all time, you deserve valid criticism. I have to be honest, in all my years, okay, I've only had this channel for like 2 years or 1 year or something, but in all the time I've made these videos and all the research I've done, she probably has one of the most condescending responses I've ever seen. I've never seen someone with such a stuck-up attitude make a response before. Like, genuinely, it is one of the worst things I've ever seen. YouTube Shorts or TikTokers try not to act condescending and
Nah, question for the heads. I ain't gonna lie. This really for the OGs. I ain't gonna cap. It's still like a lot of everybody in the audience for sure. Who do you think response is worse though? For real, especially going back earlier in this clip, like Clara Dao's or Umechi? Like that. This shit is a really good question. I feel like it would probably be Umechi's though, like off a base level, because I feel like what Umechi's like doing is obviously just way worse and way more harmful. Now, again, that's not to say that Clara Dao shit wasn't harmful. It very fucking clearly was. But like, her shit. Oh no, we're sweeping your ass. Like, yo.
Response video challenge level, literally impossible. She can't address anything. She doesn't address any arguments being thrown at her the entire video. She just is like, oh, you guys took it out of context. Oh, you guys look too deep into it.
I ain't take shit out of context, considering I saw all the context I needed.
You don't actually defend yourself. I am not exaggerating. The first, like, 1/3 of the video is talking about her mental health and the harassment stuff, and I get it. That's bad.
That's what I was about to say. Like, but I can understand why she's saying about that, because those things, like, obviously she's struggling with mental health things, like I discussed. She's obviously been to like a mental ward or whatever, mental hospital, things as such, and I can sympathize with that, because obviously it's terrible for people to go through, like, duh. But on the other side of that, hun, you're gonna have to take and cover them more serious things, like, in way more regard, because those are very heinous, very, very harmful to not only you yourself but your audience, and overall it's bad. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
You're making a response to allegations. That could be a separate video. That just isn't an excuse for the things you did. That isn't a shield. That should not act as like, oh, everything I did is okay because these things happened to me. And since you don't really have any evidence against the things, you still have a chance to apologize. I mean, we all make mistakes. Yours were kind of serious, but at the end of the day, if we didn't forgive any mistakes anyone made, I mean, where would we be in society? We wouldn't go anywhere. But you can't even apologize when there's like literal evidence against you saying these these nasty things. You're like, oh, you guys look too deep into it. You guys are just throwing all these evil things at me.
Nah, it's crazy right now. Using looking too deep into it as an excuse is like so crazy too, because wouldn't that person looking deeper into it have more info, which means it's more stamped in that what you're doing could be criticized?
And I'm going to make it clear I hate her in absolutely no way, and she didn't deserve any of the things that happened to her, but once again, it should not be this excuse or this shield for the criticism, because there's valid criticism.
I'm about to say, but
like
she
the
still
things I gave at the
criticism.
beginning, that's valid criticism. That is not hate. That is, hey, you said this, that's not really that cool. I don't hate you as a person, but like the things you did are not cool. Her response was basically, you don't like apples, so you like oranges? It was that kind of thing. It was a mess. It was a complete mess, and I'm just saddened that she published that thinking that was like an accomplishment, and even more saddened that the comments were eating it up. Social media is just such a strange place. It's just like, it could never happen in real life type things, and it's just...
That's what I'm saying, because like with the social media, obviously, it's like, yo, more and more people have access to the internet, so like, Reddit is a perfect example of this, where you have like all these niche communities, so obviously, within those niche communities, echo chambers and shit start to build, so even motherfuckers that's really over here glazing Umechi will not see, and or maybe they will see, but will just straight up ignore the things that she could generally be criticized for, and it's fucked up. They gonna keep glazing, but I'll be damned. They can glaze all they want. We will be criticizing.
Very, very strange. I hope the harassment dies down for her. That did sound really rough. I hope her mental health gets better. But at the end of the day, she shouldn't be using that as a shield for the things she's done in the past. Girl,
like I said, she shouldn't even be on social media no more.
Not get anything out of context. Stop saying that over and over again. Saying it a million times doesn't make it true. Your response is just really, really rough. Hope you improve in the future. And with that, the video is done. I don't think anyone's going to make it this
Coco's Crazy said, girl, you thought you ate.
far because it's a pretty long video, but I felt like talking for a while because I've been working at my stupid job, summer job, all day, and I just want to talk.
Me? So, gotta get that work in, Coco's Crazy.
So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. If you made it this far, please donate to the GoFundMe, and bye.
You already know, gang. Shout out to Lover Babes. Miss Coco's Crazy. You already know. Love is shown every time. Excellent video by her. That was the cosplay TikToker with 150,000 creeps who love Umechi. Of course, you guys want to watch the OG vid, down in the description. First link, share the love with Coco's Crazy once more. And you already know. Final opinions and conjecture. I don't got much to say. I do not, except, yeah, it looks like the same shit still going on for Umechi. And obviously, like it was stamped in throughout the whole vid, obviously she can be criticized. It sucks that people are harassing her, trying to dox her and do all this different shit, like try to imitate her or whatever, and like try to fake information and spread false misinformation about her in some regards. But for the information that we know is true and that she blatantly did, like again, the lolly baiting TikTok and, you know what I'm saying, being on ED Twitter, which funny enough wasn't even talked about here, but that's obviously a situation that definitely happened. Again, go check out other vids for more information on that. And then you know, obviously the promoting unrealistic beauty standards within her edits and shit like that, it potentially, obviously not all her edits could give that up, but some of them, yeah. And then obviously the blatant being a liar, being hypocritical, because saying that like heads are taking her tweets and shit out of context, or not tweets, the Facebook post and shit out of context. Like, there's no context to take out, hun. It's all right there. So all I could say is what I say for a lot of these heads. Umechi, off the internet. And once that happens, we could fix this immediately. But y'all know how that goes down. Once more, shout out to Lover Babes, Miss Coco's Crazy, and I'll be catching y'all on the flip, baby. Peace.